Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for clicking on 5 News Web News. It is Thursday, March 7th. I'm Brittany Hoke.
And I'm Matt Heckel, and here are some of the top stories we've been following here on 5 News today. Police are releasing a few more details into the deaths of a Mon County couple from earlier this week.
Yeah, investigators tell us that it looks like Dennis Roy Sr. shot his wife, Dorothy, and then turned the gun on himself. Police got word of this at around 10 o'clock on Monday morning when someone inside the home on Merle Yost Road called 911 and then hung up. When investigators showed up, that's when they found the pair dead. Earlier this week, neighbors told us that the two lived in that home for at least 30 years. Detectives told us that it could be a little while until they get the results of their autopsies.
Well, a fire destroyed a Marion County home this morning. Crews were called out just before 3 o'clock to a home near Lofty Lane in the Montana Mines area. It was a fully involved fire by the time crews got there, but they were able to get it under control in about 30 minutes. According to family members of the homeowners, 3 people were home at the time, and they say something started smoking in the walls of the living room, but smoke detectors alerted the family. Nobody was hurt, but the home was destroyed. Now, the Winfield District Volunteer Fire Department was in charge of that scene. And firefighters think a microwave caused a fire at a Harrison County home yesterday. That happened around 3:30 at a home on Gregory's Run Road in Lumberport. The man who was there at the time said he put something in the microwave, then went outside to grab the mail, and when he turned back around, he saw smoke coming out of his house. The man and his dog, though, thankfully were able to make it out safely.
And Philip Bush pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of conspiracy to commit a felony in a Marion County courtroom yesterday. The 64-year-old was formally charged Wednesday in connection with the 1974 Windmill Park murders. His trial date is set for May 15th of this year. The court issued no bond since Bush is already serving 2 life sentences. And the trial date has been set for a teenager accused of stabbing another student at a Tigers Valley High School football game in October. The jury selection for Thomas Voss will begin on June 4th. The trial will begin right after that and continued until June 7th. Voss is accused of killing 17-year-old Dustin White after they got into a fight at the game. His last day to plea is on May 29th.
Well, North Korea is threatening a preemptive nuclear attack against the U.S. This comes as the United Nations Security Council is set to vote today on tougher sanctions against the country. A foreign ministry spokesman made the threat in a statement to a state-run news agency. South Korea's defense ministry says the North has been conducting a series of military drills on an unusually grand scale. But despite the strong talk, it is believed North Korea is still years away from having the capacity to launch a nuclear warhead.
And yesterday marked 9 months since anyone has seen or heard from a teenage girl named Skylar Law. And now lawmakers in Charleston are working on a bill that would expand Amber Alerts to include missing children. House Bill 2452, better known as Skylars Law, has been named after Niece. The teen went missing from her home in Star City last July. At the time, police classified her as a runaway because they spotted her on a surveillance camera getting into a car right outside of her home and hasn't been heard from since. The way it stands, there are 4 criteria needed to issue an Amber Alert. They are: the child needs to have been abducted, under 18, believed to be in danger, and that there's information that an Amber Alert would be helpful to find them. Skylars Law would let police contact the Amber Alert coordinator to determine if there's enough information to issue the alert. Delegate Charlene Marshall from Mon County is the lead sponsor of that bill.
I would expect them and would want them to do use whatever possible tool they have. And I would also want them to notify the authorities, as many as possible.
And that bill moved through the House Judiciary Committee yesterday. Now it goes on to the House floor for its first reading. If passed, it still needs Senate approval.
All right, let's take a look at what our newsroom's working on for tonight. First up, new details on a fire that broke out at an area home this morning.
Plus, a new test can tell you your chances of dying in the next 10 years. Would you even want to know? Well, we have a look at how the whole thing works, and warmer weather is on the way. Your first alert forecast is coming up tonight on First at 5 and 5 News at 6. You know how I moved from the bad news of the finding out when you might die to the good news of the warm weather?
I don't think I'll be doing that test, but I will stick around to watch Ken Meehan's forecast tonight on First at 5 and 5 News at 6. But we're going to leave for now. Until then, though.
Have a great day, everybody.